Bonsoir les enfants. Good evening, children. Today it is le 31 octobre. Aujourd'hui c'est le 31 octobre. C'est Halloween. Today, as I'm recording this video, it's the 31st of October. It is Halloween. So I thought it was an ideal opportunity to find out about some English festivals and some French festivals. Let's see, have we got some that are the same, or are there any differences between 2 or 3 festivals that celebrated this particular week of the year? So to start with, as I've just said, we've got Halloween. So Halloween, as you know, is on the 31st of October. And Halloween is not actually celebrated in France. Halloween is celebrated in many different places, and the origins of which maybe come from Celtic times. There are different versions of the history of Halloween. Some people believe during the Celtic times they lit bonfires and they danced around them dressed up to ward off ghosts. Some people believe that others dressed up as spirits and saints and knocked on doors. That is why then over the years things changed and things evolved to what we now know as Halloween, where people put candles in pumpkins and dress up and go trick-or-treating. So we'll find out a bit more about that. Let's put some light on so that we can see what we're actually doing. So, what I would like to tell you is that in France, they don't celebrate Halloween. In France, tomorrow, on the 1st of November, le 1er Novembre, they have something called La Toussaint. La Toussaint. And that is All Saints' Day. All Saints' Day is a really big festival, not only in France, but in many, many countries all around the world. And All Saints' Day is actually a celebration of people that, family members or friends, loved ones that have actually passed away and died. So it's actually seen as a day to remember those people. And in France and all around the world, even tomorrow is a Sunday, but if it was a weekday, it would be a national holiday. There wouldn't be schools, there wouldn't be businesses open. Florists would be open because traditionally people would go and buy flowers and they would go to gravesides and they would remember people that they have lost and they would honour them and they would celebrate them. So it's actually a nice day. It might not have started like that originally, but it's actually a really nice day to remember people. So that's called La Toussaint. La Toussaint. So let's just go back to what I originally said about Halloween. Halloween is actually a word put together from the words All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve. And that literally means All Saints Eve, as in hallow meaning saints. So the 31st of October, le 31 octobre is Halloween, or as in All Hallows Eve, Halloween, which we would celebrate in Britain. Le 1er Novembre, the 1st of November, is La Toussaint. La Toussaint. So that is All Saints' Day. So we talked about 2 festivals there that are commemorated very differently, celebrated very differently between France and Britain. Let's think about some of the things that we do here in Britain to celebrate Halloween. Well, as you can see, we might have un déguisement. Un déguisement. Un déguisement is a disguise. We might dress up. We might put on un costume. Un costume. And here we have the word for un costume. So that is dressing up, an outfit, a costume, of course. You might dress up as une sorcière, as I have done, a witch, or a wizard, un sorcière. So let me just show you that again. Une sorcière or un sorcière. You might put on a mask. And the word for a mask, un masque. Can you see that? Un masque. Un masque. I wonder if anybody is wearing un masque. Let's think about some animals that we might use with our costumes. Let's see if we can remember our adjectives. I wonder, anybody knows the word for a spider? A spider. A spider is une araignée. Une araignée. So if I've got a black spider, remember, I put my colour after my animal. My adjective comes after my noun when it's colour. So it's une araignée noire. Une araignée noire. Now, we haven't done this yet, but because it's une araignée, it's female, it's a feminine noun, I have to put an E at the end of the word for black. Can you see that? Une araignée noire. So some of you might have done this already. Some of you might know about this. To some of you it's new. You have to put an E because we've got a feminine noun there. Une araignée noire. We're adding an E onto the word for black, and we will continue to learn a bit more about that. But if I had a black cat, un chat noir, because it's masculine, un chat noir, I don't put an E on the end. Un chat noir. Similarly, if I had a black rat, un rat noir, I would say un rat noir. Then I might have a bat. I don't really like bats. And a bat is une chauve-souris. Une chauve-souris. So I've got a grey bat. So I'd have une chauve-souris grise. I've added an E to the end of my word for grey. Une chauve-souris grise. It's just a few words there. I obviously have to talk about my pumpkin. I've got 2 pumpkins here. I've got 2 pumpkins, and the word for a pumpkin in French, I had to work this one out. I wasn't sure what to call a pumpkin, so I had to talk to one of my French friends to find out, because there was 2 different words. And we decided the word for pumpkin in this context is une citrouille. Une citrouille. Une citrouille. And inside my pumpkin, can't really show you, I've got a candle, and the word for candle is une bougie. Une bougie. And of course, what else might we associate with Halloween in this country when we do trick-or-treats? We might associate it with some sweets. So, some sweets. And the word for sweets, some sweets, is des bonbons. Des bonbons. Des bonbons. So there you go. Lots of words there about Halloween. A little introduction to the Festival of All Saints' Day, which is celebrated in France, unlike Halloween. And there's something else coming up this week. So this week, on the 5th of November, there's another festival, another celebration that we have in Britain that they don't actually have in France, because obviously it's relevant to us, and it is to do with this gentleman here. Who knows what this gentleman is called? So this is Guy Fawkes. And this is Guy Fawkes, and we do celebrate Guy Fawkes Night on the 5th of November. So, the 5th of November, can you remember how we say the 5th of November? Let's take that off. Le 5 novembre. Well done. Le 5 novembre, the 5th of November. So we call that Guy Fawkes Night, or Bonfire Night? Remember, if you're going to write that, I've actually written the word 5 in words this time round, just so that we can practice different ways of writing. And remember, it's a small n for November. Le 5 novembre. So, in 1605, this gentleman and a group of conspirators did plot to blow up the Houses of Parliament. They were enraged with the king and what he was doing. So Guy Fawkes was actually one of a number of people, but he was the one that was caught with all of the explosions. So we could say in France, Guy Fawkes a essayé de faire exploser le Parlement. Il a essayé de faire exploser le Parlement. What have I just said there? He tried to blow up the House of Parliament. So, le Parlement is the word for Parliament, and he was caught with all these explosions. And the word for explosions, luckily for us, is exactly the same as in English. Les explosions. Les explosions. So, what we do, as you might remember, we actually, take a note, witches make both, we actually celebrate or remember what, we actually remember Guy Fawkes and what he was trying to do by having great big bonfires. And the word for a bonfire is le feu. The fire is le feu. Now, some people believe that the word for bonfire came about because around about that time, evil people, or people that were believed to be evil, should I say, were actually burnt. And so, the word bonfire, it is believed, comes to them from the word bones and fire. So we have bonfires, we have le feu. Sometimes we might gather around a fire with family and friends and share nice things like toffee apples, la pomme d'amour, a toffee apple. We might have sweets, and traditionally caramels are eaten, le caramel. Traditionally they're eaten round about this time of year. And what else do we have? We have beautiful, colourful fireworks that light up the sky. And those fireworks in French are called les feux d'artifice. Les feux d'artifice. So on the 5th of November, les feux d'artifice, I wonder if you look out into the sky, le ciel, which will be very colourful, for les feux d'artifice, for fireworks. So there you go. A very short snapshot description of 3 different festivals that happened this week, and a little bit of time to think about how we celebrate them here, if we celebrate them here, and how they celebrate them in France, and if they celebrate them in France. So, I wonder if you would like to practice some of the language that we've seen. You could rewind the video, you could press pause just before I say the words, and you can see what you can remember. Can you remember the word for? A pumpkin. Or a candle. The word for a mask. The word for, one of my favourite words, sweets. And the word for the celebration, the festival that is held on the 1st of November. Some of you might already know about that. All Saints' Day, la Toussaint. Lots to think about there. It's an interesting time of the year, and they mark the Halloween and the All Saints. They really do also mark the end of the seasons of autumn becoming winter, and the nights are drawing in, and it's all a bit cold, and it's nice and exciting to wrap up warm inside. So, however you're celebrating Halloween, or All Saints' Day if you do, or Bonfire Night, have fun. Stay safe. Au revoir les enfants.